Senator Garrett, we can hear you.
Am I to understand that you and AFP are telling me that there is a such thing as a free lunch?
There is a free lunch with AFP for one day only, and that's celebrating Martin Luther King Day on Lobby Day. Not only is there the free lunch, free breakfast, and free dinner, and a free bus ride.
Who knew?
Who knew?
That's all I can say. Who knew?
AFP just wants to get people involved, and it's such a fun day. I love AFP Lobby Day because you get to meet your legislator, you get to meet your House of Delegates member, your state Senate member, and then you get to meet people running for Congress like Tom Garrett. Right?
Hey, look,
what a deal.
Some of that's good. There are members of the General Assembly, and I could give names, but I won't. He just as soon not me. But anyway, how are you doing?
No, Senator, that is pretty funny. And as you were saying that, I was kind of thinking through my mind like 5 or 6 people that probably would fit that category. But we won't be talking about that right now. Now, look, Senator, let's cut right to the chase. You were running for governor. I had you at 10-1. You complained about that. Rightly so, I suppose. Robert Hurt decides to retire. Now you're running for Congress for the seat in the 5th District. That'll be decided in whatever your nominating process is, because a Democrat is not going to win that. So it'll be decided in the nominating process. Bill Stanley, Senator Stanley, deciding to stay in the Senate. I've got you at even money, so you go from 10-1 to like secretariat odds. What do you think?
Look, we were rumored to be running for governor. Ultimately, I want to be the son that my father tried to raise. We were all fortunate enough to be in the 1 in 26 who slipped from the womb in the greatest country ever witnessed on the planet Earth. And what's at stake is really whether or not we'll hand that same mantle, that same gift of opportunity, which is the sole entitlement of an American opportunity to our posterity. The people in Washington seem to have taken to heart Alexis de Tocqueville's observation that the American Republic will thrive until the voter learns to vote themselves largesse at the polling place. And what I like to tell people in the 5th District is we're not running to bring home the bacon. We're running to save the pig.
Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Do we have that written down? You should trademark that before somebody steals it.
My fiance does not like the idea of the Save the Pig Garrett for Congress bumper sticker. But I like it. I mean, that really sums it up in a way that people can understand. President Obama said 7 years ago that $7 trillion in debt was unpatriotic. Well, congratulations, President Obama. You're unpatriotic times 2.5 and counting. We're selling tomorrow's opportunity for today's largesse. We have taken from people who are theoretical and not yet in existence to buy votes today. And I'm going to tell you what, you said I was a rabble-rouser. Here's what I want to be. I want to be a warrior in the arena of ideas. I wear the uniform of the United States. Nobody else running has. I will continue to fight for constitutional pro-liberty policies and ideas. And I'm not really afraid of anyone. I'm afraid of being held accountable to my maker, and that's it. So I'm not scared of Tommy Norman. I'm not scared of Paul Ryan. I'm not scared of the President of the United States. I'm going to do what I think is right for the people in the 5th, and I won't change the world, but about 250 of me could. So let's start. Let's start in the 5th.
Okay, Senator, I love what you're saying, really. And a lot of us, as you know, are very frustrated about what is going on in Washington. Many of us feel betrayed by Republican leadership. They have not stood up to Obama on anything. They've let the national debt go from, like you say, when he got in, $7 trillion to now it's approaching $20 trillion. They just passed omnibus budget, busted every budget cap, increased the debt another $750 billion. No way to pay for any of it. They went in 2015. They went with in 2014 they went with omnibus after the Republicans won a historic majority in both houses. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Amnesty, not defunding anything. Planned Parenthood, not defunding that. And so, Senator, I like you, and I want to believe you, but, I mean, I've just been lied to so many times. So many of us have just been lied to, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, and they say all these great things on the air. They come on my show, and they're going to defund this and defund that, and the next battle is going to be the one to die for, and they're going to turn it around, and then they don't do squat. You know,
yeah, right.
They get put on leadership committees, or they get put on appropriations, or this or that. And then they don't do a damn thing except collaborate with leadership in order to advance their own careers. And so it gets tiresome. Why do we believe you?
Were you trying to tee me up here? Were you trying to set me up with an easy question?
No.
I mean, thank you. Look, Benjamin Franklin said, well done is better than well said. Last year's bridge budget passed the Virginia Senate 39-1. You have the entire dissent on the phone with you right now. We have done nothing except for stand up for what's right after standing up for what's right. And I got people whispering in my ears saying, Tom, you'll never get put on finance if you keep voting against these budgets. To which I respond, if I have to sell my soul and compromise principles to get put on finance, then I don't guess I'll ever get put on there. Last year, we were the only no vote because McAuliffe and leadership on both sides were telling us that we couldn't fund our core essential functions of government, public transportation, public education, public safety. You know, our teachers are underpaid. A trooper with 10 years on the force is getting $500 a year more than a trooper with 10 minutes on the force, and yet they somehow found money to waste on tents for our state parks. And by my math, if we took that money out of the budget, we put our money where our mouth is on core principles, we could give it a $500 a year raise to 3,000 teachers or to 3,000 troopers. In Virginia right now, if you're a sheriff's deputy, the law says you'll get at least $1 more than the food stamp level. Right? Cut their pay by $2 and give them food stamps. That helps them more. We absolutely waste money on things that aren't in the purview of state government, and everybody talks about it, but the vote was 39-1. I'm on the phone. If it talks about standing up to leadership, being punished with committee assignments for making a strong stand for leadership, I did that. I asked your listeners to Google Tom Garrett and Tommy Norman. Nobody else did that, and I wasn't running for office when I did it. I did it because it was the right thing to do, and I wasn't running for leadership when I challenged him. I was trying to help somebody else get there because it was the right thing to do. So I got a history and a track record of not just talking, but performing. And Ben Franklin said, well done is better than well said. My opponents seem like great guys who say all the right stuff, but I'm with you. I'm a cynic, you know. Show me. And that's what we've done for 4 years with the ACU Defender of Liberty Award, with Tea Party Cola's highest rating year after year, with a 399 out of 400 on the Second Amendment from VCDL, and candidly, I would argue that 1 point. And that's who we are, and that's, you know, look, again, I've never accomplished anything great alone. I've always had help. It won't be me that changes America for the better, but it'll be me and a bunch of people like me. First thing we got to do is get this nomination, then win this election, win the White House, and look back to foundational constitutional principles, and this country can be everything it ever has been and more. But right now, we are on the wrong track.
Senator Tom Garrett, Republican, Goochland, running for Congress against, running for Congress in the 5th District, that's the south side of Virginia, for the seat of the retiring Robert Hurt. This will be decided in a nominating process. Now, Senator, do you have any idea what the 5th District nominating process will be?
Yeah, I hope it's a convention, and there's 3 primary reasons. Number 1, it eliminates the possibility from outside chicanery. Number 2, it will be less expensive, meaning that we can take the money we raise and use it to beat the Democrat. And number 3, if indeed the Republican Party is the party of fiscal responsibility, why are we asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars in welfare from the state of Virginia to conduct our nominating process? But I don't know. I think it's leaning towards a convention. We're going to win either one. You asked when you were going to break, what I would do when I got put in a room with McCarthy and Ryan, etc. And if you have a moment, I would love to share with you a story, an inspirational story that I heard relating to that very thing.
Go ahead.
So growing up, I was a huge fan of Steve Largent, who played wide receiver for the Seahawks. Great hands, great possession receiver, also a great constitutional conservative. He was elected to Congress from Oklahoma in the 90s following the Gingrich Revolution, and he and some of the other freshmen had been rabble-rousers, to use your words. And Gingrich got a number of them in a room to tell them just how things needed to be. And about halfway through the rant, Largent stood up and began to walk towards the door, and Gingrich sidesteps and got in front of him and said, "Where do you think you're going?" And Steve Largent said, "You need to understand, Mr. Speaker, that I've been in smaller rooms with bigger men, and I'm leaving." And, you ask my peers who've caucused with me for 4 years whether I've ever been intimidated by leadership or threats. The answer will be no. Somebody asked me early on what budget I would vote for following this omnibus budget, and I said a balanced one. And that's okay. But this is real simple. When we continue to double down on excessive spending beyond our means, a tactic that can't be used by any state, any family in this nation, then we are literally selling tomorrow's opportunity for today's largesse. It is absolutely, literally unsustainable. I get it, and we're going to go there, and we'll be at least one voice, hopefully pairing with the Freedom Caucus, to say not no, but hell no.
Hell no. That's the answer. Hell no. I mean, if you look at Virginia right now, we've got some great representation. But you look at Dave Bratt in the 7th, Morgan Griffith in the 9th, and I'm just pointing two people out. I mean, they have stood up to leadership over and over on a lot of these issues. But, it's easier said than done because there's a lot of pressure. And, you get up there, you want a career, obviously. You want to be able to get in with the right people. And Dave Bratt from the 7th District told me on the air early on, he said, the only way that I can vote my conscience is by understanding that I'm not going to be in leadership, I'm not going to head a committee, I'm not going on appropriations, I'm not going on anything because I don't do what they tell me to do. So he says, I have to just give all that up and try to find a way to make a difference. Do you fall in that mold?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. But and I talked to Dave at great length about 3 nights ago. At the end of that conversation, I said, Dave, you won't change the world, and neither will I, but a bunch of us can.
Right.
He won't go on appropriations. He won't head this committee and that committee right now. What we need to do is move the needle. We can't continue with the status quo. I commend people to hit brand new website, TomGarrettForCongress.com. Look at who we are, what we stand for. I'm going to give you another example. This past summer, the State Board of Elections under Governor McAuliffe actually had a meeting wherein they were going to vote to remove the block from your voter registration form in Virginia that said, I hereby swear or affirm that I am a citizen of the United States.
Right.
But they were going to take the block off the registration form. There are 140 people in the General Assembly. Guess how many people showed up at that meeting and said, you'll do it over my dead body. We will carry legislation to clarify the law. If you do this, we'll shout it from the mountaintops, and there will be political consequences. One person showed up. I'm on your phone.
Really?
And Dave Bratt's not going to head committees today, but if we put the right people in Washington, then he can tomorrow. We didn't get in this hole in one day, and we're not going to get out of it in one day. But, okay, I'll sacrifice short-term power and all that crap. I don't need a career. I got a career. www.gundefenselaw.com. I want to go to Washington because I was lucky enough to be born to Tom and Lois Garrett in the greatest country on earth. And I want my kids to have the same opportunities that I've had. A career, who cares? Let's do what's right. Our founders knew they'd die if they were captured, and we're worried about committee assignments. What a sad state of affairs.
Wow. You know what? That's why I've got you as the favorite. When is the nominating choice going to be made and how?
There will be a meeting of the 5th District Committee on January 23rd. There's already a convention scheduled for May 14th, so if they choose the convention to be the nominating process, that should be the date. If they select a primary, I'll probably push that back to June. Like I said, I like the convention. Let me have 2 extra weeks to beat the heck out of the Democrat and win this seat. Let me save some money and use that to beat the Democrat and win this seat. But we're going to win either way. The people care, and I'm going to throw another one out there for you, John. You get your pen ready. I think this is on our website. Remember when Mitt Romney got in trouble for saying the 47% thing?
Yes.
What an idiot. I mean, instead of apologizing, he should have doubled down and said, I mean every word I said. There are two types of people in this country. There are producers and consumers, and I'm asking the voters to ask which they want to be. Which do you want to be? Now, my favorite Tom Garrett quote on that is, half the world's too busy being offended to be productive, and the other half's too busy being productive to be offended. And I say it publicly. Let the media call me to task. Let my opponent call me to task. I'm going to look people in the eyes and say, which one do you want to be?
All right, Senator, we're out of time.
You want to find something to be upset about, you will.
We're out of time. What's your website?
TomGarrettForCongress.com. Also, Facebook, Thomas A. Tom Garrett, Virginia 22. We got floor speeches up.
Okay, we're out of time.
All kinds of stuff up for transparency.
We're out of time. TomGarrettForSenate.com.